Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What I would like to speak to you about tonight is from the dua of Imam Hasan al-Askari alayhi salam, which we recite on the third day of Shaban. This dua comes from which Imam? From the 11th Imam, which means that the Shi'i school have developed so much, about 200 years, from first Imam to the 11th Imam. The Shi'i schools and the Shi'i thought, the intellectual thought, have developed to a degree that the 11th Imam is transferring certain hardcore pivotal beliefs in the dua. Because this dua is extremely important. And what it contains within it is the whole Shi'i school of thought, particularly from the point of view of esotericism, from the point of view of irfan, from the batini aspect, from the esoteric aspect. This dua contains the esoteric principles. First and foremost, as we say in the very beginning of this dua, where we say that Allahumma inni asaluka bi mawlud of hadha al-yawm, for the sake of the mawlud, for the sake of the one who was born on this third day, on this day. Who is this? The dua introduces this personality. Actually, Imam Hasan al-Askari is introducing. When we say there is no day like the day of Abu Abdullah al-Hussain alayhi salam, on the same token, we can say that there is no day like the day of the birth of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. If his shahadat becomes the day like the no day of Abu Abdullah, then his birth becomes very familiar as well. When we read the dua and understand the dua, there isn't any Imam who was born for which it was announced before the birth of the Imam that this Imam or this person will be Shaheed. The dua says that it was already announced before he put his step on the earth, that his martyrdom was already announced in the heaven. This is a very esoteric, irfani, mystical aspect of Shi'i Islam. If this is overlooked, then we will easily lose our faith and our iman. What does that mean, that even this child is not stepped on the earth, but his martyrdom is already announced in the heaven? What does that mean? This is very mysterious. Who is saying this? This is the 11th Imam. The other aspect of this dua is a mawlud, the birth of a personality upon whom the heaven and earth cried. The heaven and earth cried. What does that mean? What is the reason of crying? When a child cries, the mother and the father, they become merciful and kind towards the child. They try to attend towards the child. When the heaven and earth are crying, as in reality they are invoking Imam Hussain alayhi salam for the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to descend upon them. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam is becoming the vehicle, is becoming the medium for the attraction of mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Through what? Through crying. That's why crying is considered as one of the greatest ibadat for the masa'ib of Imam Hussain. Leave aside the masa'ib, we are talking about the birth of Imam Hussain. And on the birth of Imam Hussain, Imam Hasan al-Askari in the dua is saying that the heaven and earth cried for this mawlud. That means this crying have a very, it's a phenomena that contains within it a tool by which it attracts the mercy. So heaven and earth and whatsoever in the heaven and earth are seeking the day of the birth and of Imam Hussain alayhi salam in order to attract the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's in the dua. Another aspect of this dua in which it says that Allah have placed shafa, cure, in the turba of Imam Hussain. Intercession through that thrower, cure through that clay or sand or dust. In Imam Hasan al-Askari alayhi salam is mentioning this. Now, if we look at the element or the reality of what shafa'at is, why there is cure, why there is intercession, why there is, it gets rid of the illness, for example. The aspect of cure, a person becomes healthy through a doctor. A person becomes healthy through what the doctor have prescribed. There are certain elements within that medicine or that prescription or that individual or person who have given that cure. Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, for example, gives life to the person, lepers, who are ill, who are blind, so on and so forth. That means that Hazrat Isa alayhi salam was on a certain maqam. Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is on a certain position who is capable of doing that. If Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is not on that level, or Ahl Bayt giving shafaat, for example, in the hereafter, they are on a certain position to do that. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, have made the turbat of Karbala as a source of intercession, as a source of cure, as a source of progress and perfection for the ailment, for the limitation that I have. And the question of raja, the question of resurrection and coming back to life is mentioned within this dua, which is a very Shii concept, that when a person dies, when Imam Zamana will return, a person who wants to be with the Imam Zaman, he will come back or she will come back. That belief system, that thought is in Shia Islam, and that is mentioned in this dua. And one last one which I would like to mention is the incident of the angel Fatrus. So it says in this dua that there was an angel who was given cure while this angel wipes its wings upon the cradle of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. In the end of it, in the end of the dua, it says that the angel wiped his wing on the cradle of Imam Hussain, by which it was given cure, by which it was able to fly again. What is this very mysterious story? It's not a fantasy or a fairy tale or eloquency that the Imam wants to point out to, or a story. There's very deep hidden reality behind this. The du'as that we have, which opens the secrets of Tawheed in Saif-e-Sajjadiyah, is due to the orchestration, due to the leading of Abu Abdullah al-Hussain alayhi salam in Dua Arafah and so on and so forth. And then Abul Fazl Abbas becomes that. Where can you find a personality like Abul Fazl, so unique and so special, that Amirul Mu'mineen asked two things in his life? All his life, if you reflect, Amirul Mu'mineen asked two things. One, he asked the hand of Fatima Zahra from the Prophet that he wants to get married. And number two, he asked is Ummul Baneen, that I want a son who will support me, who will support my son in Karbala. So that is Abbas, that Imam Amirul Mu'mineen asked from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for such a son. Amirul Mu'mineen asked two things, like I said, Fatima and Abbas. And both of them were the strong helpers of Ali. And that's Abbas. No wonder he becomes the source of fulfillment of our desires, for which the ulama, scholars of the akhlaq and on this path of spirituality have said that Ya Kashif al-Karb an Wajh al-Hussain, Ikshif Karbi bihaqqi Aqiq al-Hussain. We are asking, O Kashif al-Karb, we are addressing to this great personality who have reached to the level of resolving the problems and issues, where Allah is the one who resolves it. But Allah is using the door of Abbas. Allah is using Abbas to resolve the problems and issues of people. No, leave aside. But It is Hussain who is saying this. There's your problem, there's my problem. There's your issue and my issue. But we are talking about Imam Hussain. Ya Kashif al-Karb and Wajhil from Hussain. Ikshif karbi bihaqqi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always give you the opportunity to go over and over again to Karbala and visit Imam Hussain and Abul Fazl Abbas alayhi salam, and also visit Imam Zainul Abidin in Baqi, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala haste the reappearance of our 12th Imam and include us all as his faithful companions. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.